Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Babu Owino, the best member of parliament in the Republic of Kenya. Familia ya Nzioka, familia yake ya pili, the teaching fraternity, wakiwemo viongozi na members wa KEPSHA, wa KESHA, KNUT, KUPPET, TSC wakiwa hapa wote, wazazi na wanafunzi wa Donholm, waombolezaji wenzangu, tumsifu Yesu Kristo. Asanteni, najua mmechoka, tumekuwa hapa kwa muda mrefu, lakini nimekuja hapa kujiunga na wenzetu kusema pole kwa Mrs. Matheka na familia yake, na vile vile to the teaching fraternity kumpoteza your colleague. Na Bishop amesema hapa ya kwamba the words of the scriptures, to live or to die, we all belong to the Lord. Leo tukiwa hapa hatujui ni lini tutaondoka. Kuishi kwetu ama kufa kwetu ni uamuzi wake Mola. Na tukiwa hapa tukiomboleza, tukisema pole, yote tunamwachia na tunamwombea, tunaomba afariji familia hii. To the teaching fraternity, tunajua ya kwamba ingawa mnasindikiza mwenzenu, ametuacha wakati mgumu sana. Tumesikiza walimu wakiongea hapa, tumesikia sauti zenu, na tunajua ya kwamba mambo ambayo yanabadilisha ama yanaboresha maisha ni sera, policies, legislation that can either change to improve your lives or to worsen your lives. Na leo baada ya miaka mingi, na naamini tuko kwa mwaka wa 3 wa bottom up, ambayo ilikuwa the bottom up economic transformation agenda, better. This better plan was supposed to make your lives better. Nikiwauliza walimu wote mlio hapa, are your lives better? Are your lives better? Are they better or bitter? Your lives are bitter. It's because of the bad policies ambazo zimeletwa na mtu anaitwa Zakayo. The overtaxation of anyone aliye na payslip leo, kilio kutoka kwa walimu, kwa wauguzi, hata polisi, hata wanajeshi. Mimi nimekuwa waziri wa ulinzi. I was the 10th Minister for Defense. Never in the history of our country have we gone to the extent of denying the men and women in uniform who fight for us, so that our borders may be safe and our nation may be safe, that we go to the extent of denying them lunch. Na tunawaambia pay as you eat. It has never happened in the history of our country. Na ukiangalia payslip ya kila mwalimu sasa, tunaambiwa ni karibu nusu inaenda kwa Zakayo, na ingine inakuja payslip inakuja negative. Leo nataka niseme tukiwa hapa, the entire leadership of the teaching fraternity is here. I want us to stand together, because together we can change these policies. If we are able to change this regime, we can change the policies, the punitive policies and taxes that this regime has put. Kulikuwa na mambo matatu yalikuwa yamefanyika. Walikuwa wanauza JKIA, walikuwa wanauza Ketraco, na vile vile wakaleta mpango wa SHA, ama sijui inaitwa Shisha. Hiyo ndio kwanza kuanzia November payslip yenu imegongwa 2.7%. Tukaambiwa housing levy, walimu wengi wamechukua loan, they are struggling to pay, wamejenga nyumba zao. Unaambiwa lazima ulipe hiyo housing levy, upende usipende. Tuliambiwa it's a saving by PS Hinga. Juzi waziri Alice Wahome amesema it is not a saving. Si ati utarudishiwa ama utapewa nyumba. It is a tax, utalipa upende usipende. Lakini ukiangalia sana, na sisi tukiwa upinzani, we must tell you the truth. There is a reason why Bwana Ruto amesukuma sana mambo ya housing. Kwa upande mmoja ni biashara, simiti yote, chuma yote, mabati yote inayojenga hizi ya affordable housing, tuwajua kule zinatoka, and he has a vested interest in it. So So ninyi mnalipa, mpende msipende, lakini pesa inaenda mfuko wa mtu fulani. Mliambiwa mtawekwa pesa mfukoni. Hamukuambiwa ni mfuko wa nani? So today we know, as we say, ya kwamba it has happened. Tukiwa na Mheshimiwa Kalonzo na my colleagues in the opposition, we do not just oppose, na wabunge wetu wako hapa who said no to Finance Bill 2023, who said no to Finance Bill 2024. Wako hapa ambao tulipinga inside parliament ili msikatwe ile ushuru mnakatwa hadi mnapata negative. Na sio tu bungeni, tulisimama nanyi. Tulienda kotini, Bwana Kalonzo nami ni mawakili. Tumekuwa kotini to challenge this. Tumefaulu kusimamisha ile mambo ya JKIA na Adani. Tumefaulu kusimamisha mambo ya Ketraco na Adani deal ya 95 billion. Ile imebaki ni deal ya SH ambayo pia kuna mkono wa Adani ndani, and William Ruto has an interest in SH. Ndio tukimwambia SH haifanyi, anakataa kuidrop. Why did he drop the other two deals with Adani na amekatalia hii SH ambayo inaumiza ninyi walimu na watu wa payslip? So today we want to assure you that we will continue standing with you kuhakikisha ya kwamba we reverse these policies, and if we stand together, vile tulimshinda kotini kwa mambo ya JKIA na Ketraco, vile tutamshinda kwa mambo ya SH, tusipomshinda, if we stand together and we remove this regime, I believe the incoming government ambayo iko hapa nanyi siku ya leo, executive order number 1 itakuwa ku reverse hiyo mambo ya housing levy ili muweze kupumua tena. Executive order number 2 itakuwa ni ku reverse hii mambo ya SH ambayo watu wanafanya biashara wakimfinya through your payslip. Bwana Kalonzo wako hapa, atakuja waambie ile propaganda imeanza sasa. Ni kusema ya kwamba hakuna upinzani Kenya sababu watu wote wamejiunga na serikali ya Zakai. Tukitoka hapa, nataka mtoke hapa mkijua wanaweza nunua wale presidential candidates wote Kenya, lakini huyu Bwana Kalonzo hawezi akanunuliwa. I know him. I know Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Wanaweza nunua all presidential candidates hapa Kenya, lakini yours truly Eugene Wamalwa na wakishia leo siwezi nunuliwa na Bwana Zakayo. Wanaweza nunua vyama vyote, na hii ndio target ya Bwana Zakayo, to weaken all political parties zije nyuma yake, so that there is no opposition akiongeza ushuru kwenu. Leo nataka niwaambie Wiper Democratic Party, na tumeona viongozi wao hapa wamesimama nanyi. I know even if they buy all political parties, they cannot buy Wiper, they cannot buy DAP-K. Tutasimama nanyi na tunaomba ya kwamba tuweze kutembea pamoja. AI imeanza kutumika kama chombo cha propaganda sasa. Gen Z waliweka watu wengine kwenye jeneza. Wao sasa wameanza kutumia hiyo AI to discredit the opposition. Tunapoongea hivi sasa Donholm, Nairobi, kuna picha zinaonyesha Kalonzo Musyoka ako kule Mombasa na Zakai. Kuna hata barua ya Wiper inayoalika wanahabari na wako hapa to a press conference at the Tamarind Hotel, ya kwamba sasa vile Bwana Zakayo amechukua nusu ya upinzani waingia serikali, huyu Bwana Kalonzo pia ako Mombasa, ako anaingia serikali ya Zakayo. Watu wa Donholm, hapa ni Tamarind Mombasa, hapa ni Donholm Nairobi. Hapa ni Donholm Nairobi ama ni Tamarind Mombasa? Tunasema shetani wa uongo afanye nini? Na Kasongo na Kaongo afanye nini? Sisi hatutaki kusema mengi, but we want to say we stand with you to ensure ya kwamba we win and we change this country for the better. Nataka nichukue nafasi hii sababu ya muda niweze kumleta Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka mwenyewe atuambie kama atasimama upande wa wananchi ama ataenda kusimama na Zakayo. Nataka aseme asiseme? Aje atangaze msimamo? Wacha mwenyewe aje sasa aweze kuwasalimu. Karibu Yesu.
Asanteni. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kabla ya kuzungumza na kupeana rambirambi zangu, familia wameuliza kwa sababu mama anafanya na shirika ya judiciary. Judiciary itself is under attack. So I think that in all fairness, representative of judiciary, kwa niaba ya Mama Ruth Mweni, and also Georgina anafanya na Jubilee Insurance. Msichana Georgina, Jubilee kujeni pia. I'll give you time. Hata kama mimi siongei, hawa jamaa wameongea yote. Karibuni sana. Yeah, thank you. We are just mourning our brother, and I think it's right and proper that we do it in a manner that is all inclusive.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and all other honorable members. Good afternoon. I stand here as a representative from the judiciary, and kindly allow me to request all members from the judiciary to just move here or stand up wherever you are so that we can be able to recognize you. We are here in threefold. We are here because Madam Ruth Chengo works with us. My name is Elizabeth Kalei. I'm Director, Head of Human Resource Management and Development at the Judiciary, and Mr. Ruth is my deputy. Mr. Nzioka, also after Ruth joined the Judiciary in 2019, coincidentally, he also joined the Judiciary as a tribunal member in the year 2021. And we have been so gracious to work with him. Yes, the judiciary team just stand here. At the same time, Ben Nzioka, Ruth's son, also joined us as a member of staff, and we are very, very grateful for that opportunity. I'm representing the Honorable, the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, and kindly just allow me read a small message from the judiciary to Ruth and the family. This is a message from the judiciary on the demise of your dear husband. For us, as we are colleagues, I know the whole of this team is coming from the Directorate of Human Resource Management and Development. We shall continue standing with you and praying with you and holding you and walking this journey with you. As a colleague, we have worked closely, we knew your family, and we shall continue praying for you. So, just briefly, this is a tribute by the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Honorable Wilfrida Mokaya, during the memorial service for the late Mr. Johnson Sioka, today being February 26th. The family of our departed colleague, Mr. Johnson Sioka, Madam Ruth Chengo and your family, chairpersons and members of tribunals who could be present here, the Donholm Comprehensive School Fraternity, the clergy, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. We are here as the judiciary family to mourn the sudden death or timely death of our departed colleague, Mr. Johnson Sioka. Mr. Nzioka was a member of the National Examination Appeals Tribunal. He joined the tribunal in January last year. He had only worked for 1 year. As a judiciary, we have lost the expertise of such an experienced member. To Madam Ruth Chengo and the children, we say, Pole, we have no better words to comfort you than the assurance we have in the words of God in Psalms 23:4. Though we walk through the darkest valley of death, we shall fear no evil, for you are with us, your rod and staff shall comfort us. Madam Ruth Chengo, hold on to God, let him be your solace at all times. May the words in Isaiah 14:10 comfort you and your children. Do not fear, for I'm with you. Do not be dismayed, I'm your God. I will strengthen you and uphold you with my righteous hand. May I now request all chairpersons and members, staff of the judiciary, to just bow before Madam Ruth in honor of her dear husband, and we shall still continue holding you. Thank you so much. Allow me, as I exit, to also just recognize that we have a team from the Kenyatta University who are Madam Ruth's college mates, and wherever they are, they can also just stand up and wave to us. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Good afternoon, everyone. God is good, and all the time. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 states that in all circumstances, good or bad, we should always thank God. And we from Jubilee Fraternity, we continue to encourage the family of the late Johnson Zioka to always be grateful that God gave you Mr. Nzioka, and we appreciate that you were able to live with him in a good way, and God will keep blessing you. With me, I have two of my colleagues. I'm the chairman of Jubilation Welfare Group, where Georgina Mateka is our member and a senior staff at Jubilee. And we have with me Phyllis Shigami. She's also a committee member, and Ann Kimani, a committee member. We'll just read a tribute very fast so that we give His Honorable, His Excellency, Kalonzo Musyoka, the sixth, an opportunity to also address the teachers and everybody, including the family, who have found time to be with us today. So, today we gather with heavy hearts to stand in solidarity with our dear colleagues and friends, Georgina Madeka, as she mourns the tragic loss of her beloved father, Mr. Johnson Zioka. On behalf of all Georgina's colleagues, I extend our deepest condolences to her, her family, and all who loved and cherished Mr. Zioka. The sudden passing of a cherished parent, especially in circumstances as heartbreaking as road accident, leaves a void and that words cannot fully mend. We cannot begin to imagine the pain Georgina and her family are enduring, but we want to know that they are not alone in this moment of profound grief. We stand with them as a community, offering love, prayer, and wavering support. Though many of us never had a privilege of meeting Mr. Nzioka in person, we feel we know him through the stories Georgina has shared with us after the fateful accident and also over the years. She speaks and has always spoken of his kindness, his strength, and his dedication to his family and work as a top-ranking teacher in Kenya. It is clear he was a man of great character, allowing father a guiding light, a pillar of his teaching community. The values he instilled in Georgina, her resilience, her compassion, and her unwavering work ethic are a testament to the remarkable person he was. His legacy lives on in her, and for that we are grateful to Georgina and her family. In times like this, grief can feel overwhelming, but may you find solace in the memories you share, the love you poured into our lives, and the knowledge that His Spirit will forever remain with you. As your colleagues, we want you to know that we are here for you, not just today, but in the days and weeks to come. Lean on us whenever you need to. As a wise proverb reminds us, what the heart has once owned, it shall never lose. Mr. Nzioka's love, wisdom, laughter will continue to live on in lives he touched. Let us honor him by cherishing the time we have with our own loved ones and by supporting one another through life's most difficult storms. Georgina, please know that our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. May God grant you peace, strength, comfort during this unimaginable time. And this extends also to your family, your mom, your brother, Mr. Nzioka's grandson, and the in-laws. So thank you so much for giving this time. And we as Jubilee, we also His Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka to take care of Kenya once you are elected in 2027. You will be elected.
Thank you. Well, fellow mourners, so Mama Mjane, Ruth, Mweni, watoto yako, Georgina and Benson, the teaching fraternity. A lot has been said, so it's not my intention really to even attempt to paraphrase or further complicate a very difficult situation we find ourselves in following the passing on of Mwalimu Mazeka. Johnson did well. I saw some of his predecessors here, Banakaruga and others, and I'm actually very appreciative of the sermon that an executive member of KEPSA gave on the fact that death is actually a gift. And your acting chair, you now recognize the wonderful work that your colleague did, not just in this school, but in the whole country, earning himself the distinction of a high head of state commendation. So, as we bid farewell to Johnson, it behoves us to really take note of where we are and who we are. I do not intend to use this forum, because a very sorrowful forum, to even attempt to reply to some of the concerns. But allow me, Mheshimiwa Babu Owino, to thank you, because you have done well as a member for this constituency, earning yourself a very cherished position of #1 constituency in the country. There are 290 of them by info track. It's a challenge, and I could see it when you are coming in. In fact, the elation did not come from this side, it came from the children. Imagine watoto wenyewe wanajua mjumbe wao amejaribu kuwasaidia. Please keep up the spirit and do not be discouraged in any way by the political shenanigans going on in the country. Last time I spoke to you, Babu Owino, you were in Burkina Faso. And I asked you, what are you doing there? So you have been invited by the head of state of that country, who seems to be gaining a lot of mileage. A military ruler deal, but mindful of the people. Therefore, I urge you today, ndugu yangu mdogo Babu, always be on the side of the people. You can never be wrong. As I tell you that, I tell my other colleagues who have come with us here, and I thank you for finding the time and really saying nice things. But truth be told, the journey ahead is not easy. We are talking about ukombozi wa nchi ya Kenya. Ukombozi. And the challenge next round is not going to be a normal election. It will be about ukombozi wa nchi ya Kenya. I think Madam Ruth shared with me that your late husband was even thinking of continuing with a bit of political career, because being chair, national chair of KEPSA, and you're talking about 46,000 headmasters and principals, that's a very political office. And I know that he would have wanted to continue even leading and using his servant leadership qualities to help his community back in Machakos and the country. Kwa hivyo tusiwe basi tujue yeye mwenyewe hayuko hapa, and I think the preacher made it very clear. What we have are the remains, wherever he is, and those remains will be laid to rest on Friday in Mwala constituency. Therefore, condolences to the bigger family, the family of Machakos County. I happen to know that they have done their best to make it easy for you by way of preparing the necessary approaches and whatever they can do. So you're not alone. You're not alone, Madam Ruth, and your children. The community is standing with you. Kwa pandele mwingine, na nikamilishe tu kusema hayo, please do not be dismayed. AI and whatever, in fact, AI is the way to go. And the Kenyan youth have died. They died, and I keep on saying, June 25th, I call it J25, will be a year since we lost these young people. Remember the tear gassing, people of Nairobi, people in Bakassi, Mheshimiwa Babu Wino, a lot of them came from here. And they went there, some of them young, very young, they had never tasted tear gas. Walipigwa tear gas, wakauawa. Those young Kenyans, even those who survived, are still traumatized. I would have expected this administration to think of cancelling services for young Kenyans, the Gen Zs, because they're still very angry, very, very angry. And that revolution they started is ongoing. In their own minds, in the minds of their parents, you cannot wish that away. And no amount of political posturing. I personally do not like the word politics, but you need to have leaders. I believe in leadership, and particularly servant leadership. But that is a challenge. Mwalimu Collins, our brother, the Secretary General of KNUT, I urge you to stand strong like Ambrose Adongo used to stand strong. And Eric Katumanga, are you still there? And Eric Katumanga, when I was Minister for Education for 3.5 years, I knew what I was talking about, preparing the ground so that President Kibaki could declare free and compulsory primary education. Our education system now runs seriously compromised up to the very top. And we have a lot of work to do in trying to properly put our education back on track again. But I want you, Mheshimiwa Secretary General Collins, to be very bold, and say it as it is. Your teachers are hurting. Now, I gather that 100,000 of your members have applied for promotion this year. In fact, I'm told 25,000 are the only positions that are available for promotion, Mwalimu. Mume apply nyinyi. Imagine out of 100,000, only 25,000. Yeah, in other words, kuna mwalimu hapa atapatikana na mtoto alimzaa akiwa more senior than yeye, the same grade. And so, a lot of injustice. Even the criteria used to promote teachers is opaque. And what the young Kenyans are saying, they want transparency. And yet many others remain jobless. And if you do not belong to Kenya Kwanza, in terms of where your loyalty is in parliament, utaona kwamba recruitment letters are dished out, yeah, to candidates at funerals like now. If I'm not wrong, we saw that. Wanapatiwa barua kaandikishe, wewe Mheshimiwa Babu Wino, kwenda kwa sababu wewe ni mwaminifu kwa Kenya Kwanza, kwenda andikisha watoto. You find teachers who have been unemployed since they qualified for the last 7, 8, 10 years being left behind, na mtu amekamilisha last year anapata kuajiriwa. Where is the justice? Mheshimiwa Collins, Secretary General, that's my challenge to you as we honor this distinguished teacher and administrator. And I'm so happy that he was able to narrow the gap between KNUT and the teaching administration. Because KNUT was really on his deathbed, as Senator Ambua said. But it took a person like Johnson to stand for what is truthful and what is just. So Kenyans, fellow Kenyans, this is a time for us to stand for what is true, what is just, what is fair, what is in the best interest of this country. Mambo ya mengine tutazungumza kesho na baadaye tukisonga mbele. We are ready for this challenge because we have a nation to salvage. It is really salvaging a whole nation. And now we have some of your friends, your own son is in the judiciary, Madam, you're in the judiciary yourself, and look at Georgina, a qualified actuary, and she can only do what she's doing. I believe that I would want to follow these children and to see what can happen. You know, Mama, Mrs. Ndabuki Kola, a serious neck member of the party. And I think that looking at the colors here, I was tempted to think she had something to do with them. But I gather that Mwalimu himself was a key member of the party. We will have to make sure this nucleus family makes it. Wasonge mahali baba alifika na nyinyi msonge mbele. And don't be shy, we will stand with you to the best of our ability. And the judiciary will stand. I think it is wrong, absolutely wrong, for any leader to imagine you can state capture the National Assembly, state capture the judiciary as the executive, and yes, we know the liberties under our Constitution 2010. We will defend those liberties. And an independent judiciary is the most important of all those institutions. Because the other one, ndio watu wanang'ang'ania, watu wa Kenya kwanza na wale wengine, na sisi wengine tunang'ang'ania huko. But Kenyans must really know that whatever, come rain or shine, we will be on the side of the Kenyan people. Mahali wengine tumefika sisi, we have seen it all. We have seen it all, literally, politically. Persecuted, tear gas, almost killed. We can't go backwards. We can't. It will therefore be to look forward with a lot of determination and courage, inspired also at this particular time by the very singular ability of our late brother Johnson. Therefore, may his soul rest in eternal peace. And we've been told what eternity is. Eternal peace. That's where it's gone, to be with his maker. Amen.